Hello, it's Monika from Crafting with Quilling Lady, and I hope you have absolutely wonderful day. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to create dimensional Christmas cards using a free gift from Creative Stamping Magazine, issue 113. In the magazine, you can find lots of beautiful projects and ideas to try, but on page number 62, you can find lots of beautiful projects created by Monika Węclewska, and in the description down below, I left the link to her YouTube channel where you can actually check her beautiful makes there as well. The magazine comes with a 4-stamp set collection called Nordic Christmas, and it is designed by Helen Griffin, called Simply Made Crafts. As you can see, there are lots of beautiful images and sentiments, but also there is ephemera pack as well included, which is absolutely beautiful. But for today's project, I'm only going to focus on the beautiful stamps. As you can see, I'm going to choose lots of beautiful elements because simply I couldn't resist. For my very first project, I'm going to use that beautiful hot chocolate stamp, and I'm going to use some heat embossing. So first I need my anti-static bag, and I'm going to use VersaMark ink. For all the projects today, the idea was to create dimensional cards which you can fold flat and put in the envelope, so you don't really need any boxes for those projects. And if you have never ever tried dimensional cards, I really hope this video will inspire you to create some of them. As you can see, for my heat embossing, I decided to use silver, and all the names of the products I use in today's video you can check in the description down below. And now I'm going to use 2 Distress Oxide inks in Broken China and Prize Ribbon, and using my wet paintbrush I'm literally spreading the color around to color in my image. If you want, you can use watercolor card, but in this case I use 300 GSM white stamping card, or the other name for it is multi-purpose card. It's always a good idea to clean your surface in between, and now we can move on to the next step. Using my scan and cut machine, I created myself 3 squares with nested circles inside. It is super simple to create using the website from Brother. And now I'm going to add some beautiful details. I'm going to use some of the stamps from the beautiful collection Nordic Christmas. I literally couldn't resist. So as you can see, the color scheme for my first card is actually silver and blue, and I think this color combo is perfect for Christmas. If you like this color combo, please let me know in the comments down below. And again, I'm going to use my anti-static bag, VersaMark ink, and yes, we're going to do some heat embossing. As I said before, all the cards today are dimensional, so we are going to have some 3D effect to every single project. And for this one, I really wanted to create a tunnel effect. That's why I've got that circle. You can also use some nested dies if you want, but to be honest, a few weeks ago when I was using my circle dies, I wasn't really happy how they cut. So for this project, I decided to use my scan and cut machine because I could really quickly design those squares and put the circle inside, and it cut in 1 minute, all 3 of them. So if you have never ever created your own panels using software for your electronic machine, please do it. It is super simple to do. Now, as you can see, I'm moving on to my second color, and again I'm going to use some foliage and create that heat embossing with silver powder. Super quick and easy. And I do wonder, if you like this color palette, have you ever used it for Christmas? And if you have, please let me know what images did you use, because as you can see in this case I'm using hot chocolate mug. I couldn't resist. It really makes me think about very cozy Christmas, so I thought it would be perfect for the first card. I really like how all those panels look like, but I thought something is missing, so I'm going to use another stamp from the collection. As you can see, this is pretty short stamp, but what's really good about this, you can always repeat it. And as you can see here, I'm going to use my anti-static bag again and do some stamping and heat embossing. And in this case, with the first stamp, as you can see, I missed one bit. don't worry, you can always stamp again, even with VersaMark ink. And what's really good about this stamp, actually the pattern repeats, so no one will ever see if you made a mistake. And I do wonder, do you actually have that Creative Stamping Magazine, issue 113? If you do, please let me know what color schemes did you use for your cards. I'm really curious, so I really want to see them. So if you created any project with that free gift from the magazine, please leave the link in the comments down below. And again, I'm going to do some heat embossing, and what I really like about this color palette, I think it really matches the whole theme. And at this point I thought, yes, let's cut out our hot chocolate, because that heat embossing dried and was cool, so I thought, yes, now it is the time. If you want, you can always use a craft knife for all those small elements to cut, and yes, I do encourage you to do it. And I thought at this point, let's add a little bit more color and interest to the project, so I'm going to use my Distress Oxide inks, again in Broken China and Price Ribbon colors, and using my ink blending tool, I'm literally spreading the colors around. And if you want to support my channel, in the description down below, I left my affiliate link to Craftstash and some of the products here. So if you buy from those links, that really supports me, but it doesn't cost you anything as well. So this is very good. So now we can move on to the next step, and I really like how this turned out. But to make it dimensional, I'm going to use my scoring board, and I created panels, 2 for each color. So I'm going to have 4 centimeters by 13 centimeters, and using my scoring tool, I'm going to score every single centimeter. Super simple. And then we're going to create mountains and valleys, and this way we're going to have very beautiful dimension. And yes, all those elements will actually be flat when you put your project in the envelope. So this is really cool. So this card was supposed to be 6 inches, but if you have some dimensional, I do encourage you to have slightly bigger envelope. So in this case, I'm going to use 7 inches envelope for this project. And again, I'm repeating the same process with other blue panels, and I'm going to start adhering all those elements in a second. And I will show you what is the best trick to do it if you want to save some time. As you can see, I only use 2 panels for each color. But if you want, you can also use 4. But that doesn't really matter, to be honest. If you have 2, that will be fine as well. So I'm going to start with the lightest color first. As you can see, I'm trying to line up one of the flaps, and using my one and only liquid glue, magic glue, I'm going to apply all those elements together. Super simple. And what's really good about any liquid glue, you do have time to maneuver all those elements, and in time they will be adhered forever. So as you can see, I'm putting my panels at the top and the bottom, and then with the next panel I'm going to do left and right, and with the last panel top and bottom again. So when you alter it, that really makes a difference. This way you don't need 4 panels for each color, but just 2. So yes, you do save time. And I also wonder, what is your totally favorite color palette for Christmas? And maybe you have your favorite stamp set. If you do, please let me know. I really like folk art, and when I saw this stamp set, I thought this is perfect. I've never ever used Nordic collection for any of my projects, so I thought today is the day. And I do encourage you to try something new in your card making or paper craft projects, because that's how your creativity grows. And yes, this is just perfect. So now I've got 6 by 6 inches card base, and I'm going to start applying all those panels I created. As you can see, they actually can be flat, so it is amazing. And if you do like dimensional cards, maybe you do have your favorite style. And if you do, please let me know what it is. When all these 3 are ready, I thought I really like it so far, and I really like how that hot chocolate actually sits inside, exactly in the middle. But at this point I thought, with all those panels having so much dimension, maybe I can actually add a little bit of dimension to that cup. And to do it, I'm going to use double-sided foam adhesive. And it's always a good idea to use a little bit of liquid glue first, then apply some double-sided foam adhesive and liquid glue again. And I also wanted to let you know that I'm super happy that I reached 400 subscribers on my channel very recently, and my goal for this year to actually have 500 subscribers. So if you like this video, I really hope you'll click that subscribe button, because that really means a lot to me. And I can tell you that every single subscriber is like a little dance for me, and it always puts a massive smile on my face. So if you haven't subscribed yet, I really hope today is the day. Now it is time for a sentiment, and again I'm using the same silver embossing powder, and I'm actually creating that sentiment super quick and easy. And now, using my scissors, I'm going to cut it out. You can also use a trimmer if you want, but at this point I was a little bit lazy and I thought, just leave it with scissors. So when this is ready, I'm going to add a little bit of Distress Oxide ink just to make sure all my elements match, and our card will be nearly completed. And what's really good about using any Distress Oxide inks on top of your embossed elements, yes, you can use a little bit of cloth, and this way you're going to have very clean and beautiful elements. And I do encourage you to do exactly the same. So our first card is completed, and I do wonder, what do you think about this? Have you ever created a tunnel card? If you have, what was the shape? I'm really curious. As you can see, now we can move on to card number 2. And for this one, I'm going to create a stepper card. So I've got nearly 6 inches by 12 inches panel, and this one is 300 GSM card. I'm going to score it at 1, 2 inches, then turn my card over and do 5 inches. I think this is the easiest and the quickest stepper card you can create. Now it is time to fold our lines and burnish them. And yes, our card base is complete. Super quick, isn't it? To add a little bit more interest, I'm going to use some gold mirror card, and I thought at this point I really like the blue color on the first card, but let's stick to some Christmas colors. So I'm going to use some gold, green, and also red. And I really like this frame. It is super beautiful, and I thought, why not? I'm going to stamp it. And actually I had a look at my stash and I found that let's say foam panel, and I think it is the best way if you have bigger images to stamp, because that actually creates like a cushion. And if you do have like stamping platform with a cushion, or maybe you just have like foam like I do here, please let me know what's your preference. Now it is time to actually stamp our frame, and I'm going to do gold heat embossing in this case, and using my alcohol markers I'm going to color in some of the images, and I think that will actually give my front panel a little bit more interest. Have you ever used alcohol markers on a colored card? If you have, what results did you get? Please let me know, because at this point I really wanted to use some red for poinsettias, but I know that if you mix red and green you actually get brown. But to be honest, I was really happy how the colors turned out. I'm not going to show you exactly all the steps how I colored in all those images. You will see some of them, and if you do like this technique, I really hope you will give it a go. And I also wonder, how often do you use stepper cards in your projects? Maybe you have your favorite stepper card style. If you do, please let me know what it is. And I also wonder, do you create your own, let's say, card bases for stepper cards, or do you get them already made? If you do, please let me know where do you get them from. So when all my elements are colored in, I can move on to my next step. And actually I really like that hot chocolate cup, and I thought it would be really nice if I can color it with a little bit different color. But first, working on my front panel, I'm going to add some gold heat embossing as well. And to color in my cups, instead of using alcohol marker, I'm going to use Zig marker in red, and using my wet paintbrush, I'm going to spread the color to have, let's say, illusion of 3D look. So as you can see, I've got lighter exactly in the middle and then darker shade on the sides. And I do wonder, how often do you use watercolor markers in your card making? Now I cut out all the cups and they are ready, but I thought, again, with the front panel, I like it, but I also like that pattern stamp from the collection, so I thought, let's add it here. As you can see, the frame is not symmetrical, so I thought I'm going to do exactly the same with that patterned stamp. I really like it, so I thought, why not? Let's do it. And having that gold mirror cut underneath, it makes that all the elements will match, and that's exactly what I want to achieve here. And if you do have your favorite gold or silver embossing powder, please let me know what is the brand, because this gold embossing powder you probably saw in my other videos, and I think this is the best. But maybe you have your favorite, and if you do, let me know what it is. Now it is time to assemble our card together, which you can see it will be super simple. Using my liquid glue, it means that I do have time to maneuver all those elements, and I'm going to put all those panels on our card base. So this is very simple stepper card, but it gives you dimension, because all those cups will actually, let's say, they will have an effect of floating, and that's exactly what I wanted to achieve here. And it's always a good idea to actually start with the left and right side and then put your middle element later, and this way you will make sure that everything is spaced properly. It is time to add some gold gems here and there, just for extra interest, and there is plenty of space to write your message inside, and the card stands proudly on a flat surface. Now it is time to move on to project number 3, and at this point I've got two 6 by 6 inches card bases, and with one I'm going to cut the bottom, and with the other one I'm going to cut the side just a little bit, and we are going to create very, let's say, unusual dimensional card. So as you can see, I trimmed one of the sides here, and we are going to decorate some of the panels here. I'm going to show you step by step how to do it. I actually saw this card on Crafters Companion TV show during Color Me Happy. It was created by Michelle, and I thought, I want to create my own version. So as you can see, using my scoring board, I'm literally scoring 1.5, 1.5, 1.5, and half of an inch. So I've got 1.5, 3, 4.5, and 5 inches. And it is time to create some flaps and time to actually fold and burnish all those cone lines. And this way we're going to have like cuboid here. And this will give us beautiful dimension for our project. And what's really good about this, it's going to fold flat. Super simple. And now, using my silver embossing powder, I'm going to add that beautiful pattern stamp. As I said before, this is my totally favorite from this collection. If you do have that stamp set, please let me know which stamp is your favorite. I really, really want to know. As you can see, the theme is Nordic Christmas, but I really like this pattern, and I also like the hot chocolate cup. So I thought, yes, you can also use one stamp and create so many different projects. As you saw at the beginning of the video, when I showed you Monika's beautiful cuts, she only used white, red, and a little bit of craft card. So I thought, let's just have something a little bit different. I don't really use blue and silver very often for Christmas, so I thought today is the day. So this is my take on this beautiful stamp set collection with Creative Stamping Magazine issue 113. But if you do have other ideas with all those beautiful stamp sets, please let me know what are you going to create. As you can see, I'm just repeating that stamp to create beautiful pattern. So it's super simple, even when you use VersaMark ink. And when this is ready, yes, we're going to use that silver embossing powder and just melt it. And it's always a good idea to preheat your tool before you start melting that embossing powder. That really makes a difference. So when this is ready, I thought I really like it, but as you can see on the side, I still have those two Distress Oxide inks, and I'm going to use them to add a little bit more color to all my elements. So I'm going to start with the card base, and I'm starting with Broken China in the middle because it is very light color, and I thought why not? And it's always a good idea to have darker color on all the edges. To be honest, we won't really see much when the card will be finished, but even then I think it really adds to the whole project. Now I'm going to use price ribbon for all those smaller panels, and this way you do have that color variation here, and I absolutely love price ribbon color. If you do have your favorite Distress Oxide ink, please let me know what is your favorite color. Now I'm going to apply those beautiful blue panels here before I attach all those elements together. And it's always a good idea to do that first. Trust me. You probably know how I did it. You know, with time and experience you learn, even with card making. So when this is ready, I'm going to put the glue on the flap and adhere it. So as you can see, you can fold it flat, and this is the easiest way to actually use your liquid glue. As you can see, we have that cuboid here with lots of dimension, and it is time to create our front panel. So I'm going to use my scoring board, and actually I'm going to eyeball it a little bit. So I'm going to put my card base I created. As you can see, I've got the fold line at the top, and I'm going to use 7 inches on my scoring board. And at this point I thought, as you can see, I've got my black line on 4 inches on my scoring board, but maybe I should use different color for one of the other numbers, like 7 or 6, and this way it will be so much easier to see all those lines. So the idea was to have 1.5 inch at the top and 1/2 inch flap. So this way you're going to have exactly the same measurement, and you need a flap at the bottom. Super quick, easy, and as I said before, I saw this card during Crafters Companion TV show, and I thought it is perfect. I couldn't really remember the measurement, but I was inspired to create this card. Maybe you know the name for the style of this card. If you do, please let me know in the comments down below. So again, I'm using my silver embossing powder, and I'm going to add that heat embossing just in the corners. And as you can remember from the very first project, I had light, medium and dark blue panels with some circles inside. So actually using that leftover, I'm going to add those circles here to make my job super easy with ink blending. As you can see, I'm using my scrap paper, and I'm literally just holding it. If you want, you can use your washi tape to actually adhere it to your surface, but at this point, to be honest, I was a little bit lazy, so I thought, let's just go with the scrap paper. So when this is ready, we can start actually applying all those elements together. And as usual, I use my one and only liquid glue, magic glue, for all those elements. And as I said before, it is perfect glue for card making because you can maneuver all those elements, and when it dries clear. So as you can see, the card folds completely flat, and it is time to add a few elements. So yes, here are our circles, and I'm going to use double-sided foam adhesive to add a little bit of dimension, because why not? Even when the card folds flat, you can always add some double-sided foam adhesive for extra interest. As you can see, I really like to add that dimension on my projects. If you do have your favorite double-sided foam adhesive, please let me know what it is. And it's always a good idea to add a few drops of liquid glue, because in time it will dry even more. But when you add that liquid glue, it really makes a difference and all the elements will be adhered forever. As you can see off camera, I created one more cup with that beautiful blue colors using Distress Oxide inks, and also I heat embossed Merry Christmas sentiment on the lightest blue panel. And I decided to add a little bit of prize ribbon here because I really wanted that pop of color. And I think all those elements match so far. But at this point I thought I really like all the silver embossing powder, but maybe at this point I can also add some silver gems. And that was my idea when I was actually putting that cup here. And I literally just couldn't resist. If you do have your favorite color gems, please let me know in the comments down below. As you can see, all the gems are applied here. They really match the silver embossing powder. The card folds flat, there is plenty of space to write your message on the back. It is super dimensional and it is complete. And now you can see all three cards side by side, and I do wonder which one is your favorite? Which one do you like the most? Please let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching and spending that time with me. Don't forget to like this video, give the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And don't forget that every Monday I've got personalized cards on my channel and Thursdays are Christmas projects. See you in my next video. Bye!